very much for coming tonight. I'm very happy to see you, to get purified by your association. So as those of you know who've been here since the beginning of our visit here, our classes are only based on your requests. So the first two classes were on my experience of the tremendous reception of the world towards Krishna consciousness these days, like a resurgence of the 60s, especially in America. And we spoke about that in relation to book distribution, how all the non-devotees that we connected with were so grateful, thanking us for saving their lives, changing their lives. They're still writing us letters in that regard, loving the books. And also in that regard, the presence, the still, not only still, but more so than ever, presence of Srila Gurudev, who is with us when we do our internal service to him, of our sadhana, and our external service to him towards the world, which is in the mood of Srila Prabhupada's Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is in Goloka Vrindavan none other than Nayana Manjari. Nayana means eyes, glance, twinkle in the eye. So, in his service to Srimati Radhika and Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, she acts to engage in the meeting of Srimati Radhika and Krishna, being the glance, the manifestation of the glance of Srimati Radhika. And towards this material world, her glance is spreading mercy, and he gave that mercy in the form of his preaching, his books, his extending his arms in the form of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Pragyankesha Goswami Maharaj, and all of his other pure devotees. So, Srila Gurudev himself said that Guru never leaves. Just like Prabhupada said, don't think I'll ever leave you. I am always with you and you are always with me. So Srila Gurudev also stated that he just pretends to leave in order to increase the dependence, sense of dependence of his disciples. So just as Sripad Madhav Maharaj and Srila Gurudev were taking Gurudev around here and there, and they were watching how people would come up to Gurudev and say things like, I just wanted to say that, and then they burst out crying at his feet. So I was sharing on the first day our experiences of feeling like Brajanath Prabhu and Madhav Maharaj, watching how so many thousands of people were responding to Srila Gurudev, and he was relating with them. Then, on the next morning, on a request of Lalita Sakya Didi, we spoke about meditations that Srila Gurudev gave while putting on the tilak. How to meditate on those names that we say, Om Keshavaya Namaha, and so on, in relation to that Krishna's relationship with Srimati Radhika. Because as Srila Gurudev taught us way since the 90s, our first relationship is with Srimati Radhika, and all of our other relationships are based on that. Just like when you marry somebody, your relationship is with your husband and wife first, and then you have so many in-laws, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, nephews, nieces, and so on. So then, last night, on the request of Isha Prabhu and others, we discussed Sri Valapakusmanjali as the principle, the donation that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give the world. So then, now we're up till today. Yes, Isha Prabhu?
I don't know whether I heard it, or it's on tape, or somebody said, but somebody said to Gurudev, when they were talking about Tilak, when you say the name of Radha each place, and then he said, I can do that, but you shouldn't.
Yes, Isha Prabhu is just reminding me that back in the early 90s, 2 or 3, we were sitting with Srila Gurudev in his room in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, talking about Tilak. And he said, I simply say Radhe, Radhe, Radhe everywhere. But you must follow the rules and regulations and say the appropriate names, but those names in relation to Srimati Radhika. Like, for example, as we mentioned the other day, Keshava, Om Keshavaya Namaha, meaning a deeper meaning. It means externally, he who has fine hair, or he who is the Lord of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. And the deeper meaning is he who combs and decorates the hair, Kesh, of Srimati Radhika, and then that hair becomes just like a serpent, and Krishna becomes so enchanted that he practically faints when looking at it. So then this morning, we talked about our Bhagavad Parampara, the qualities, symptoms of the members of our Guru Parampara, why we worship those members of our Guru Parampara who came before Madhavendra Puri, even though they didn't give what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. And then the glories of those who came after Madhavendra Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, and all of his followers. Then the difference between the Guru Parampara, Anustanika Guru Parampara, and the superiority of the Bhagavad Parampara, who are all self-realized souls, sometimes coming in Shiksha line, sometimes coming in Diksha line. And now what? What's facing us now is that there are always pure devotees, and Srila Gurudev authorized all of his sannyasis that they think they're Majjhima Adhikaris, especially Majjhima. Then he wants them to initiate, but at the same time, though they can give something even though they're not realized, or even if they're not realized, whenever there's a pure devotee, the disciples and their gurus go to the pure devotee for deeper understanding, at which time the shiksha of the self-realized souls are also giving diksha in effect. And I gave the example of when a few of us, about 6 or 7 of us, in 1994, were getting the mercy of Srila Gurudev's Manshiksha classes in English, just a few of us English devotees. And I was sitting right directly in front of him at his feet. And he looked down in the middle of the class and said to me in a soft voice, "This is Diksha, not the Anustanika Diksha of just throwing grains into the fire." He explained that at another time to me on Brajmandala Parikrama, when he said, Prabhupada gave you the almond seed, because he's a bona fide guru, he could give you the almond seed, and now I'm pressing the almond so that the almond milk comes out.